Check, check, check. Yo, yo. It always feels like somebody's watching me. Anybody in the stream? We see a comment in the chat so we can start analyzing some stocks together. Yo, what is up? Hey Sam, how you doing? Any questions on any specific stocks? I don't know if you came over from the stock twits or not. But if there's a stock you want to cover, let's do it. Any stocks you have questions on, Sam? Had any success today with trades? Had any? Yeah, I did have some success. I ended up selling it because my profits were so big, but LLKKFF, am I saying that right? No, it's LLKKF. Not 3 L's. This is a stock. So I have a Discord, and this is a stock and me and my buddy who run it. We've been talking about this stock for a while. It's a lithium miner. They're a Australian company, but they have a mine somewhere in Latin America. I can't remember off the top of my head. But this one's exploded. We were talking about people buying some shares. Well, we bought it down here, but we were like, hey guys, like buy some shares. We believe in this thing. So I don't know if anybody ended up doing it. I think some people did, but this is a stock I had a lot of success on. I think I made a couple 100% on it. OTC, bag holding, family dance. Oh yeah. Some of those sound like the pumps. We can just go through them all. I gotta remember what some of these are. I feel like I remember this one. Let me Google it to see if I remember what this stock is. Okay, yeah, I do remember this one. Someone asked about this a long time ago, actually. It's the agricultural Chinese company. I remember somebody asking about it in our Discord, or I think it was a live stream. Yeah, LLKKF is an OTC name. I don't trade a whole lot of OTC, but it came on my radar a long time ago. I think on the chart I was showing you, it was like probably 6 months ago or something. So I kind of been holding that because I felt bullish on lithium. I'm really bullish on lithium long term, but it just hit an all-time high, and that company got stretched a little bit overbought in my opinion. So I'm kind of, you know, if it comes down from after that big run, you know, I'll probably think about buying some more. But had to take the profits. It was too much not to take at that point. But we can do some technical analysis on the stocks that you're talking about, just to see where they might be going. All meme stocks got caught up on the hype. Honestly, it's really easy to do that, man. It's super easy to get caught up in the hype of things. It's honestly, it's exciting to be a part of something. Like, there's so many things. What's really interesting about this stock is it's actually not that bad of a company. I think we opened low Monday. Did they come out with news or something? Let me bring up the other window. Actually, I think I opened it already. Because I know I remember when I looked at them, if you're bullish on battery stocks, then you will, like, let me write it down. I'll do some, I need to start making a list when we're talking about all these stocks in the chat. Let me, ENVX. Okay. To keep that on my radar. Oh. I don't know how to say your name. Sharma. I'll just call you Sharma. Hey, Marla, welcome back. I think I remember you being here before, Marla. Your name looks familiar. So lots of questions. I've been trading stocks I started trading and learning about the stock market in 2012, which is crazy. I can't believe it's almost been 10 years. And so I first learned because I didn't know anything about the stock market, about investing. And so I just put my money in JP Morgan at the peak of oil because my advisor told me to put it in that. And I instantly lost a bunch of money. And kind of from that point, I was like, I feel like I have the tenacity and diligence to figure this out on my own. So it's been quite the roller coaster. Definitely in my early investing career, kind of like Sam, I kind of got thrown into the hype penny stocks and got burned really early in my investing journey. Some people don't tell you about that, but it's very easy to get burned early on. And then through the years, I've just learned more and more and have become pretty comfortable with reading charts and doing analysis on stocks. In college I studied economics and business, so I understand kind of that side of businesses as well. And I work in digital advertising, but that's kind of led me to understand how businesses function. And so kind of both the technical side of things, but also the fundamentals things. And I kind of try to mesh those worlds together in all the videos I do and all the live streams. So that's a really quick synopsis of kind of my history. But I remember what's really interesting about this company, even though it's super hyped, is that, well, apparently I guess it's hyped. What's really interesting about this company is like I don't know if they've diluted shares or anything, but like their revenue is not that bad. Like obviously they're super micro cap, 84 million. I believe they don't have a lot of shares, 17 million. So it's, swings a lot pretty quickly and easily. But like when you actually look at the numbers, it's not that bad. Like, I don't know when this was March. I know they're Chinese companies, a lot of drama with the Chinese companies, but I mean, what I know is agriculture's, I guess it is big in China depending on what you grow, but they import a lot of produce. They import a lot of goods, especially from the U.S. I know we have a big partnership with them importing things from the U.S. But like when I look at this, like the valuation is not that bad, which is pretty crazy. Because I remember a few months ago, someone asking me about the stock, and we did some analysis, and that's the first thing I realized is like, wow, this company actually isn't that bad on a valuation basis. Now, when it comes to like technicals and stuff, like that's a whole different conversation because this has, I think it said like a 35% short interest. Let's go here and see if it'll come up. Okay, so this one says, I guess there's just maybe no data on it. Let's see if we have it here. Nope. Oh, yeah. I mean, that seems pretty significant, short interest. If we look at it, short volume ratio. Yeah, so it seems like pretty big short interest. So, I mean, with everything going on in China, all the craziness, maybe shorts are just like, we're going to short this to the ground. Obviously, you can see it's kind of, I'm assuming they have done a bunch of reverse mergers, which kind of, they recently had a public offering. I was going to say, based on, whenever you see a chart like this, if anyone's new here to investing, whenever you see a chart like this typically means dilution has happened because there's probably a small chance this stock was ever at $10. So it's dilution and potential stock splits, which is another thing that a lot of these companies do. It's kind of a manipulation game, and assuming those numbers are correct, the thing about sometimes these small Chinese companies as well, they don't have the same expectations around financial, I guess, transparency. And so, if those numbers are correct, the company doesn't look too bad, but that's if the numbers are correct. And so it seems like shorts are just taking an opportunity to make a lot of money on this, especially after the public offering. So is this where it came back? Oh, it came back down and then squeezed for some reason. Probably, I think I saw the news was, I didn't have my charts up. I was doing the charting over here. But yeah, this typically means dilution or reverse splits on shares. It's probably one of those two. And I'm assuming it bounced higher on that news about, I think it said expansion to North America, sales expansion. I'm assuming, oh, it wasn't on that. It was like few days ago. I don't know. I don't follow this stock close enough to know inside of why it moved, but yeah, I mean, we could do some quick analysis. These stocks are pretty hard to do technical analysis on because there's even more price manipulation than usual. Because we know that there's a ton of manipulation in the market, but when you have when you have a highly shorted stock with not a lot of shares, you know, it's very easy to manipulate that price up and down. And unfortunately, a lot of retail traders are typically the victims, especially because you have like probably a lot of trading rooms that are pumping this at certain times, which makes the price range more dramatic to the upside of the downside, things like that. So this is definitely like a risky trade, I guess I'll call it. But when we look at the technicals, I mean, one main thing we see is, and this is something I preach. Go back to 40. I'm assuming you're in at 40 cents. So, which is unfortunate. Sorry about that if that's the case. But the main thing I always preach in all my videos, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe and support, because I talk about this in all my videos. But a couple of things I always talk about is using RSI and RSI and the 20-day moving average to really figure out momentum for a stock. So if we zoom out on this, when it's above the 20-day, look at it. I mean, it's just a beautiful trend. It bounced off and it moves higher, but on the reverse side, what do we see? It fails over and over again. And so often you can use the 20 EMA to really figure out the momentum for the stock. So currently, you know, we gapped down, we had a squeeze higher probably from some chat rooms, and now we're back below the 20. So we're having negative momentum currently, especially with, I don't know how many shares they diluted with, but obviously as they dilute shares, it makes it harder and harder to manipulate the price a lot. So if it went from 17 million shares to 100 million shares, you know, 100 million shares is much harder to move the stock. So, but the main call out here is, you know, we're below the 20. So at some point, you know, I don't know when that will be, and, you know, I don't know how much of the stock you hold. At some point, it's probably going to fill this gap, but it could be months, it could be years, it could be centuries. Like, we don't know. And there's nothing in the chart right now that's telling us that that's going to happen anytime soon. We don't have any technical clues that that's going to happen. Everything's kind of pointing to this going lower currently. We have a lot of downward pattern. We had an uptrend. As you can see here, it was, dude, I keep forgetting to change my chart. My bad. But at some point it will fill this gap here. But like I mentioned, it could be years and centuries till that point. But as you can see, it tried to make a decision here if it wanted to use this as a base for the stock. And as we can see, that failed. We have a fail here. And then we have a continuation of the downtrend. We're below the 20-day. So those are all negative momentum for the stock. RSI is below 50. Yeah, my bad, Marla. I changed it back over. There's a little bit of delay on the stream, so I think your texts come in at a different time that I talk. But RSI is under 50 now. So these are all things that are pointing to negative momentum. So we'll have to kind of see how the stock, you know, plays out. As we can see, there was like some sideways consolidation, 1,000 shares at 40 cents. You know, I got the Friday brain after working all week, so let me bring out my calculator. Is that 400 bucks? Okay, so it's a decent amount where, you know, if this thing cuts in half, you lose 200 bucks. So kind of like looking big picture, if this is something you're playing in your portfolio, and I talk about this in all my videos, but what's really important is that you have a trading strategy with whatever you're doing. So like this is honestly like a very hard stock to day trade because it's so violent moving. But if that's what you're doing, and if it's a short-term trade, you really need to have your stop losses in place, unless it's a long-term hold for you. So like on this rip higher, you said you bought in at 40 cents. So I'm assuming you bought it on this push higher. Let's go down a little bit lower. So 40 cents is around here after the gap up. Or maybe you bought here after the pushback lower. So I would say just learn some, if you don't know any technical analysis yet, Sam, just learn some basic technical analysis like support and resistance, 20 moving average or other 20, 50, 100-day moving averages, RSI. Like these are the simple things that I try to talk about in my videos to keep it simple and not overcomplicate things more than you can, because you can get these things as complicated as possible. But like, for example, if you bought this, I don't know what day you bought it at, but say you bought it here or let's say you bought it, where's 40 cents? Say you bought it somewhere here. Yeah, I know. Everybody hates to sell at a loss, but I mean, your loss could have been 4 cents, but now it's, what is that? 13 cents, you know? So like, what's worse? You know, obviously it's hate to losing, but the one principle I've learned over my years of investing is the people who have been successful in trading learn how to cut their losses quickly. And I've, on my end, you know, when I first started trading, no books or courses. Eventually I'm going to start coming out with, so I have a Patreon that you can support. Eventually I'm going to come out with a Patreon group where I'll start doing technical analysis videos, and everyone who follows can, everyone who supports it can see those videos, and we'll do live streams and stuff. But it's just not enough people engaging to do that yet. But just go on YouTube for now and look up, I wouldn't say books, I would say just YouTube videos. So just the 3 things I would look up is like understanding RSI as the first thing. And that's good for swing trading and long-term trading more. So RSI. The second thing I would say is look up moving averages and understanding how those work. And then the last thing I would say is support and resistance levels or prices. Those are the 3 things I would say focus on. And then also watch my videos, because I come out with videos and I talk about these things over and over and over again. And so you watch my videos and you practice as well with these charts, you know, go on Trading Views and start playing around with charts. You'll get this more and more and more and understand it. So those are the 3 things I would focus on initially. So yeah, so we'll move off this one, but, is anybody else in the chat? Just curious if anybody has any other questions. I don't even know if Sam, you're still here, but, what's another stock you asked about? Oh, BBIB. Oh yeah, that's a hard one. This one's just violent as hell. Yeah, these are all tough. Oh yeah, no problem, Marla. Eventually I will come out with the course. What's your name? Dylan. Chill Dill. Chill Dill is the name. Dylan. Dylan's my name. So yeah. But if you don't have any questions on stocks, Marla, I'm just gonna keep going through Sam's stocks that he talked about. Did you do Facebook? I don't really do much on Facebook. I'll post TikToks every once in a while. And then I just mostly do YouTube videos. So just sub to the YouTube channel and and I put out videos there, and we're doing live streams every Friday now. So this is a place where, you know, hopefully you can learn. What's up, Antonio? This is live. I am talking live. I don't know if you're trolling me, but yes, this is live. Oh, appreciate it, Sam. Yeah, I make videos Monday, Wednesday, and then we do live stream on Fridays. So, and then on the YouTube, we typically kind of do, I would say, a range of 10 stocks that we follow, that we like. Typically long term. Some of them are more short term, but we'll add in stocks here or there more. But we'll go to BBIB. Check. Oh yeah, battery stock. We can get into that. Is this a long term play for you? And then are they like a lithium, or they actually create batteries? Oh yeah. Yeah, YouTube has a live feature, which is kind of cool. I just make all the content on YouTube, so it makes sense just to do the live through YouTube. So but yeah, Antonio, if you're not subscribed, subscribe, man. But yeah, so for this stock, so this is the reason I sold. I was talking about the other stock earlier. I'll just bring it up real quick. So the reason I bought this is because it started getting overbought. Like RSI just started getting to ridiculous levels, and so every time this stock has got really high, it typically pulls back a decent amount on those really overbought. So 50 to 35, and then 50 to 17 at the lowest on a silica based battery. Oh, I don't even know what the heck that is, man. But anything in this world, obviously it's all about momentum. Obviously, you know, electric vehicles are the future, if they're not already the future, or I guess they're already the present. But this stock's starting to get overbought a little bit, but it's still in a bullish structure holistically. So I just mentioned the last one, but oh yeah, I just did some analysis on FAMI. I don't know if you can rewind the YouTube video, but I just covered it for like 10 minutes, so I'm not going to do it again, Antonio, but I talked about it for a while. So either scroll back on the live stream or just watch it back. It was the first stock that we covered, so we did a bit of analysis on it. But for this stock, it's in a bullish pattern. As we can see, the 20-day is riding under the price, so that's a bullish structure. And we have RSI, we have a bullish pattern there technically, but more importantly, we're above 50. And so here, when it was deciding to break out, what we saw was a test of the 50 and then a break higher on that, which is super bullish. And so now we're hitting obviously an extremely important area of resistance. Let me see what the price looked back here. Yeah, so, we see a bunch of candles kind of hanging around that 24. And then we go back to daily. Where did I go? What the heck is going on here? How do I zoom out of this fast? I just did something real weird. Oh my gosh, okay. That was weird. Wait, what the heck is going on? Chart. Oh, there we go. Highly confused. But all that being said, after that weird moment, what we're seeing is that this stock is at a really important resistance point, and it's kind of been working its way higher. And so, we're kind of reaching a point where it's decision time for the stock. So, is the stock going to go higher? Are we hitting resistance that it's going to fail at again? That's kind of where we're at for the stock. So we'll kind of have to see what's next, but let's try to find some support and resistance levels for this see if it does come back, because it does look like a good buy based on this chart if it holds certain levels. So let's find those levels. So obviously we see super big resistance in that area. One thing I will say, yep, so that's what I'm looking at right now. So the first thing I would say is typically when a price gets far away from the 20-day moving average, whether it's the moving average or the exponential moving average, it typically needs to pull back a little bit to go back to it. So as an example, this ran up higher, it came back towards the 20-day, it ran up away from the 20-day, and it came back to the 20-day. Doesn't always have to touch it, but it typically needs to come close. And then here, that's where you saw the reversal back below the 20-day. And so what we're seeing here is we're seeing a little bit of indecision. Doesn't mean it won't break out, but we're seeing a little bit of indecision. So there's, I would say, a couple scenarios here, and we can't tell the future, but a couple scenarios I could see is, let me actually see where the 50-day is, because this stock pulled back. See, okay, the 50-day is below. Let's see where the 100-day is. Okay, those are all below. Yeah, so bullish, really bullish structure overall. So I'd really want it to come back to the 20-day. And then once it touches that 20-day and confirms that it wants to continue higher, then I would be a buyer. So as you can see here, 20-day, 20-day. So here we either gonna have come back to this trend line-ish area, and when that happens, the 20-day is gonna keep accelerating higher. On the flip side, we could see this break out, pretty violently, but then it's gonna have to come back and probably test this range, and that might give the 20-day enough time to catch up to around that price. And so those are really the the two bullish scenarios, just because everything looks very bullish overall. If this fails here, breaks below the trend line, let's put some support level prices. So excuse me, I'm burping, just had some Indian food. But if it can't hold above, and so when I'm putting these little lines on the chart, all I'm doing is looking for areas where that price either has gone sideways a lot, or it bounced. It seems like it hit something and then went back up. So as we can see here, a bunch of resistance right here, and then we also see a bunch of a consolidation right here, and that's a support level. And so, if we do fail here, what I'm going to be looking for is first a hold of this support around 2180, and maybe it can bounce up and then come back up. If it fails, I say that word weird, fails, then I would want to see it test the 20-day, come back below, test the 20-day. It's still bullish cycle because it's above that 20-day. And this will give RSI a little time to cool back down a little bit, and maybe come back down to the 60 or 50 range. But then if it doesn't hold the 20-day, then I really want to see it bounce. In my most bullish case, I really want to see it bounce either off 20 or 1850, and then get back above the 20-day. Maybe just a sell-off for people to accumulate more shares, and then go higher. Think you will play? I got to keep an eye on it, so I'll probably put an alert on it. So obviously I'm following a ton of stocks. This is, and you guys, which is awesome, bring up new stock ideas for me. And so I typically just put alerts. So whatever app you're using, I'm not sure if you can do it on Robinhood, but what I would do is I'd put an alert at 2180 that says if this stock breaks below 2180, I'm gonna get an alert on my app. So for me, I use TD Ameritrade, which is through Thinkorswim. So I have an alert that will tell me if this stock breaks below 2190, then it gives me an alert and lets me know that. And if it does that, then I can look at the stock and see how it looks. The reverse, I'll set an alert to see if it breaks above 2458, and I'll get an alert when that happens, and then I'll analyze to see what's going on and what I think should happen next. So it's really hard. At this price, I'm not buying personally. It's just, for me, all the indicators are saying, maybe this needs to take a little break soon. And that's the two situations I outlined. So it either breaks above and come back and back test. So typically whenever a stock breaks out above a really important resistance level, it needs to come back and test that breakout to confirm it. Same thing with the 20-day. This broke above the 20-day violently. It came back and tested it, decided if it wanted to break higher, and then it accelerated to the upside. So whenever a stock breaks out, you typically want a back test. So it comes back down to that support, finds the support, and then goes higher. So if it does break out, I'm waiting for that back test, looking to see where the 20 moving average accelerates up to. And those are the kind of things I'll be looking for. But it'll definitely be on my watch list. Thank you for this find. I always like finding really good EV companies. And so thank you for putting this on my radar. So now we have some prices to look on the fundamental side, but let's go ahead and look at this stock at a technical perspective. I'm assuming they didn't make any income yet. So yeah, this is nothing fundamental about this company. I don't know if they have had any news come out, like any bullish news about their battery production or some really awesome news about the stock. Let's see if we have any short data. So after I look at something technically and get an idea on it, then I'll, in this case, I'll go back and look at the fundamentals to see if it makes sense for me. So when a company doesn't really have any revenue yet, obviously one thing is it's really news sensitive. And this is obviously a very hype stock because they're doing something that not a lot of people are doing. And so the second thing I like to look at is what institutions are doing, if there is any institutional buying. So like this is oh dang it, we don't have any institution data on here. Let me go back here. This is this other good site outside of a market beat. It's called Fintel. They have a lot of good data on institutional buying and short positions on a stock. So for example, for this stock, we had these guys buy in about 2 months ago, month and a half ago, bought 14% of the company. That's super good. I like to see institutions come in more recently, because what I've been seeing happen a lot in the stock market is a lot of people bought into companies during the hype. So January, February, March, and then there was a second wave when the May dip happened. It was like May, June, a lot of buying, and then it's kind of cooled down. And so I like to see big, institutional buyers coming in the more recent months. It's a little more bullish for me on what stocks I'm taking a peek at. But if we go through here, there's not a whole lot of data. I think it's because this stock hasn't been around for very long. Yeah, it's only been around since January. But they have buying, which is good, and they have, some investors coming in. This might have been from the IPO. I'm not sure. Actually, this is not from the IPO, but this is all the data we have on here. But this is bullish for me. Institutions believe in it for some reason, and they're buying a big percentage of the company. With these companies, my concern always comes around diluting shares. So thanks for that call out on no news. So what sometimes scares me is the financial side of the business. So obviously they're not making any money. I don't know if we're going to have much data on Google about them. They don't, at least here on Google, they don't have a ton of money. I don't know if that's actually the true number. Let's see if I can find cash on hand. Because a company like this, cash and short-term investments, that's not just cash. Okay, so they might have, is this the right company? Yeah. They might have almost $1 billion, which is a bullish sign. That's positive, not bullish, but that's positive, because with these high growth, speculative EV names, they need a lot of cash, because they're either going to have to use their cash reserves to help produce the product, or they're going to have to dilute shares to raise money to pay for the research, the R&D. And so seeing that they have potentially a decent amount of cash, if that's cash, it says short-term investments, so don't know too much on that end. But if you can find that they're sitting on $1 billion, then that's a positive, that they have reserves sitting there in case something goes wrong or they need extra money. things like that. So there's some positives with this stock. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it, and kind of set my alerts, you know. So if you're using anything, look at your set your alerts and have them go off at those support and resistance levels. Zim. I'll take a peek at Zim. What's Zim? Shipping. Integrated shipping. Yeah, shipping's big right now. Can you tell me a little bit more about the company, Sam? Seems like you have quite the list of stocks here. You must be going hard, man. A lot of research or a lot of Wall Street's bets or YouTube videos or something. You know, just doing my stock twits posts real quick while I get that response from you. But yeah, shippings, I mean, there's just so much demand for shipping right now. You know, on one end, they're having a lot of delays, but on the flip side, shipping demands is not going anywhere anytime soon with, you know, COVID slowing things down, coming into Q4, where, I mean, every business is trying to figure out how to get their inventory for the holiday season. So there's a lot going on. Let me Google the Zim company. Get an idea of what they do. Zim. They are integrated shipping. Israel International Cargo Shipping. Okay, so cargo shipping. Israeli company, and they have headquarters in Virginia. Oh yeah. Yeah, the shippers have been going insane. I think it's going to be a little while longer for them going insane as well. Let's see how much. Yeah, their valuation's looking good too. Let's see how much growth they've had. Just to be like, let's try to price in if their growth slows, and let's get an idea of if it slows, you know, is there going to be some issues or not? A list of stocks. Tired of chasing meme stock. Bro, tell me about it. I gave up meme stocks a long time ago. It's too much work for too little reward. Like, you want to find legit companies that you can make money off of, that you do a little bit of research and realize they're legit, and maybe they're not that known yet. You know, Zim, you know, a while ago probably wasn't very known, so you got a good strategy there. Okay, so obviously their sales have exploded. But I mean, even historically, you know, they have a lot of revenue as a company. Obviously they're growing a lot. This is 2020. What were they at? 4 billion. And then this year they're going to do probably like 6 or 7 billion. Yeah, EPS. Yeah, I saw their PE ratio. I didn't see the EPS yet, but so the main thing, I agree with you. I think that shipping companies are going to continue to see success. I don't think that shipping delays are going anywhere anytime soon. I don't think that demand is going to drop off, you know, in the next 6 months to a year yet. And so I think with COVID, and even countries are seeing a resurgence like the UK, and honestly that just puts more fuel in the fire for these shipping companies, because that means ports are going to get shut down, or they're going to have more delays, and we're just going to keep seeing this issue arise for a while. Inflation's going up, which means these companies are making more money on their shipping. Obviously, you know, they have to pay for, like, as oil goes up, it's more expensive for them to charter things. But they're very, they're disconnected a lot from a lot of the price increases, because they're the transporter, so they're the one charging people more. Obviously the slowdowns, you know, slow down their production, but the demand is so high, I think it offsets it for shippers much more than other companies out there. So I'm just like assuming they go back to 2020 growth, which is 4 billion, you know, at this price, we're still looking pretty good. because when we look at their valuation, I think it was a 2.5 billion. Yeah, or it's a market cap's 6 billion. So okay, a little bit higher than I thought. But their P ratio is at a 3, which is pretty insane. Let's see what FinViz has to say. Because sometimes, what's it called? Zim. Sometimes, oh, yep, same data. I always like to check multiple sources to make sure the numbers are correct. I don't see their EPS here. Over 3,000, yeah. I mean, the growth is just so high, it makes sense. Yeah, they're 2 billion income. Yeah, it makes sense why their EPS is so high on 6 billion sales. That makes total sense. And they don't have a crazy float either, so when it moves, it probably moves pretty violently. But let's go ahead and look at the technicals because we know that it's a legit company. So let's see if we can validate that on the technical side. So it's coming up to a pretty important zone to break out above. And so we're going to want to keep an eye if that happens or not. As you can kind of see, we have these big candles. There's a lot of indecision and a lot of buying and selling. Whenever you have big wicks like this sideways, indecision, indecision, indecision. And so I would say this last candle is probably more bullish than bearish. It wasn't able to turn green on Friday, but we do have this big wick, which means for these 3 days in a row, we've had buyers buying up this dip in this support zone, which is pretty bullish. Yeah, stock will be demand for. Yep, I agree. We own the same page. But we can see here, this is a really important zone. And so, you know, we saw a bottom around 43, which again, if we look at the things, the bow, support, 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 support. So stock broke below the 20-day, but now we are testing the 20-day, which is something I love to see. Let's see if the stock bounced off any other moving averages, because that would be bullish if we bounced off, like, say, the 200-day or the 100-day or something. Why don't we have a 200-day? Oh, this is a new company. That's why. Okay. This is a good find, by the way. I'm definitely... This will for sure be being put on my radar. Yeah, I check out this company called Ticker. I saw somebody in a YouTube video have it, and I was like, oh, this is an amazing platform. So I bugged them on Twitter, and I said, hey, I make YouTube videos. Can I have access to your platform? Because it's like invite only or something. And they gave me an access code. So I use this Ticker platform. Super awesome. Their data is so accurate. Try to get a peek at this platform. I think it's the most accurate of all the platforms I've tried to do for financial analysis. But yeah, so we stayed above the 100-day, which is pretty bullish, and now we're testing around that 50 and 20-day. So, you know, I think right here what I would do, which I might do on Monday, depending on the price action. I'm worried that we might get another little pullback in the market, you know, like 2 or 3%. So I might wait because this could just have the market sympathy of moving lower. Ooh, excuse me. But yeah, this is on my radar, and if it can hold this range right here, it can hold these 50 and 20 days, then yeah, it's a for sure buy. So if you did want to buy here at 49, put a stop loss, I don't even know where, 47 if you really want to, if you really want to be more lean on this trade. Want more companies? Sure, man. Seems like you have found some good ones that I don't follow. Yeah, we'll do this for another 45 minutes or something if we want. We can do some analysis. I'm looking for trades because I've kind of thrown some of my growth companies out the window just because I don't like where the market's at for them. So yeah, throw me some more of these companies. I like these industries that you're propping up for the stream. But while you do that, so yeah, I'll be looking at this, holding this 20 and 50 day. And if it does, and it breaks above this downward trend line, that's a lot of bullishness for the stock. And This could easily move up to the 53 range if it holds this pretty easily, and if not go higher than that. So what's the name? Ticker. Let me write it here. I think I have the YouTube open. I think oh no, this is the right account. Pretty good site. I put in the YouTube comments if you can see it. There it is. Okay, it's not too bad of a delay. So yeah, so that is what I am looking at for this stock. And let me make sure and remember to write this down, because this is a good find. Keep coming back, Sam. It sounds like you have some I don't know if you have like a radar or like something that feeds you stocks that have momentum or something, but you have some good finds here. Thanks for sharing these with our powers combined. I don't know how old you are, but that's a Captain Planet reference. So yeah, this uptrend is just too much for this stock. This angle's too intense, so I would like it either to hold this range. This is a little bit better. STNE. I think we have good analysis on this, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, let's look at what the company is. I think that's a good place to start. STNE. Okay, they are, doesn't say. Cayman Islands. Ooh, sketch. What do they do? I'll look into it, but if you can tell me what they do. Positive earning growth. Oh, it's like an IT center, or like a call center or something. What is this? Machine. 12 months. STNE. Let me put this on. I know FinViz will always give me a little description of a company, so let's look down at what it says. Be back. No problem. So financial technology solutions, integrated partners with electric commercial cross e-commerce. So it's like another hyperlocal sales and services. Technology solution platform. So software. So software and logistics. Is that what I'm seeing? Looks like a software and logistics company. Ooh, they've been sold off quite a bit. Oh, you know what? One last thing I want to look at for that stock, actually. See what kind of institutions have been buying. FinTech. Gotcha. Yeah, it seemed like it was software and maybe something to do. What is this? I never got to add here. Okay, some decent buying on that Zim company. Just a heads up. By institutions. Side note. FinTech space. Okay. I'm trying to understand their revenue here. So they had no costs? Like, I'm confused. Warren Buffett stock. Oh. So Warren Buffett owns it? Not the company, but he investor? Oh, they've been around for a while. I'm surprised he's invested in such like a small company. They're not that big. Let's see if we have any financials here. Why'd their net income go up so much? Do you have any data on that? Like this last quarter is insane. Actually saw an EPS earnings up improved by 54%, so positive on there. Their expenses are coming down, which is always good. I don't like this article actually. Their revenue has slowed down though, so I'm curious why that has been. Do you have any? I haven't followed stock at all. Do you know any reason why their revenue slowed down? That's my only concern. Their net income went up for some reason. No idea why, but damn, they have a ton of cash. $5 billion. What the heck? So they had a big push in 2020 for some reason, and then for some reason has been slowing down. Oh, they own it in the Berkshire. Interesting fund. See if I can find some more data on this. Excuse me, that was a weird noise. Sounds like we have some weird put call action here. Let's see what it says. Put contracts, 38 strike price. Where's it at right now? Okay, so basically where it's at. Okay, nothing helpful there. Okay, even after a decade in the game, performance master. Sorry, busy dude. No, you're good, Sam. Possible financial seeing this team could deliver investors. I do like the fintech space. I'll tell you that. I only do live streams on Friday, so if this grows to 30 people, you know, maybe we'll do it more often. But for now, we're just getting started. Have a decent amount of subscribers on YouTube, but people haven't engaged on the live stream yet. So if we keep going the live stream, do it more often. It's really true for some burgers, chocolate, Amazon, technology, or the world economy. Oh, no problem, Sam. I think you're the only person in the stream right now. So when you go, I'll end the stream. No big deal. We'll do some quick analysis on this thing. The Brazilian fintech. Oh, you know, I think I remember him saying he bought into a Brazilian fintech company. 10 million shares. Yeah, I've heard of apps. I think apps has to do with EV or lithium, right? I know that one. Yeah, I'll have to do some more analysis on this, the fundamental side. It seems like it's definitely worth a look. But before you have to jump off, we'll do some quick technical analysis to see if we should wait a little longer or it's a good buy right now. Okay, so it's challenging the 20-day right now. Did he buy? Oh, he bought at 28 bucks. So Berkshire is like even on this stock. If he didn't sell the stock. Okay, so we're still in a downtrend, but we're trying to break out of one. This is definitely the story of a lot of growth names right now. You know, they're all getting sold off with rates moving higher and a lot of worry and stuff like that. So not surprised this peaked in February. Yeah, not surprised. I'm a little more worried with growth stocks right now, personally. I would have to do more fundamental analysis on this. Maybe I'll make a video on it on the channel just to get an idea of it because I don't know a whole lot about the company. But I'm a little worried with some of these growth names right now, just with how the market's looking. But, you know, when we look at just the numbers or just the data on the technical side, because that's, you know, sometimes that's all that matters. So we definitely look like we had a bottom down here at 30. And now we're trying to test the 20-day. So bullish would be this raise higher, hold the 20-day, and then another zoom higher. You know, something like that is probably what we want to see. and over time it, you know, slowly gets more sideways. But that's kind of something I would like it to see, because on the daily we're testing the 50 range, so it's trying to decide if it wants to break out or not, and it's really important for it to hold this 20-day. If it holds the 20-day and it holds this 50, then this could be a buy. And so let's try to find some resistance points. Obviously, it needs to break back above 40. No problem. You can watch it back, so and we can cover it next week. But I'm going to finish out this analysis. Thanks for stopping by, Sam. Appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. But to finish off this analysis, yeah, I really want it to hold above 35 range. If it can hold above the 35, then that's pretty bullish for the stock. Yeah, I really want it to hold 35. If it comes back and holds 35, then I might be a buyer here, because it can move from 35 to 40, which is, I think, a 10% move. And so that could be a decent move. And let's see where the 50-day is. I'm assuming the 50-day is around that. Ooh, look at the burps. Around 40 is my guess. Yep, 50 days, a little bit of burping. Yep, the 50-day is around 41. So if we can hold 35 and get some volume and momentum, this stock can definitely go up to 40 to 42. That's kind of a price that I would be looking at for this. Accidentally deleted that. See where the 100-day is? Yeah, 100 days way far away. So looks like decision time for this stock. But this is definitely one to put on the radar, everyone. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. If you're here, appreciate it. If you're watching this later, appreciate it. Every Friday, live streams. We're doing it moving forward, and we have some good finds together on the stream. So come back. We find great companies, and I'll be here next week for a video on Monday, Wednesday.